آواز بخونم. اگه بازم دلت میخواد یار یک دیگر باشیم، مثال ایوم قدیم بشینیم و سحر پاشیم. باید دلت رنگی بگیره، دوباره آهنگی بگیره رنگ اون دیاری که توش منو تنها نذاری. اگه میخوای پیشم بمونی بیا تا باقی جوونی، بیا تا پوست به استخونه، نزار دلم تنها بمونه. بزار شبم رنگی بگیره، دوباره آهنگی بگیره رنگ اون دیاری که توش منو تنها نذاری. اگه یه روزی نوم تو گوش من صدا کنه، دوباره باز غمت بیاد که منو مبتلا کنه، به دل میگم کاریش نباشه، بذار درد تو دواشه، بره توی تموم جونم که باز برات آواز بخونم، که باز برات آواز بخونم. اگه یه روزی نوم تو باز تو گوش من صدا کنه، دوباره باز غمت بیاد که منو مبتلا کنه، به دل میگم کاریش نباشه، بذار درد جا به جاشه، بره توی تموم جونم که باز برات آواز بخونم، 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 که باز برات آواز
چتون بارون میاد، مردم میرن تو خونه ها، تو بارونا تو بارونا. بیا با هم دیگه بریم دستامون روی شونه ها، تو بارونا تو بارونا. بارونا میان پایین از ناخونا، گلای توی باغچه. بارونا آواز سبز گلدونا، خیس میشن گلای توی باغچه. گل شکفتنه تو بارونا تو بارونا طلوع خوب لحظه ها همیشه از تو گفتنه تو بارونا تو بارونا بارونا میرقصن روی گونه ها خیس بشیم من و تو بارونا یه هم صدان با گریه ها خیس میشیم من و تو بارونا
میگفتی بی تو هیچم با من بمون همیشه نباشی من میمیرم گل بی گلدون نمیشه چه اشتباهی کردم حرفاتو باور کردم چه اشتباهی کردم حرفاتو باور کردم یه روز سرد پاییز گلدون تو شکستی مثل عروس گلها تو گلخونه نشستی بهار میاد دوباره بازم تو رو میارم مثل گل زینتی تو گلخونه میکارم بازم به گلدونت میگی با من بمون همیشه میگی که بی تو میمیرم گل بی گلدون نمیشه چه اشتباهی میکنه حرفاتو با من میکنه چه اشتباهی میکنه حرفاتو با من میکنه میگفتی بی تو هیچم با من بمون همیشه نباشی من میمیرم گل بی گلدون نمیشه چه اشتباهی کردم حرفاتو باور کردم چه اشتباهی کردم حرفاتو باور کردم یه روز سرد پاییز
Dağlar güzeli reyhan, reyhan, reyhan. Parlak yıldızın reyhan, reyhan. Alem sana heyran, heyran, heyran. Alem sana heyran, heyran, heyran. Ne geçen sen, ay göz, gül çiçeğin sen, ay göz. Bir tane sen, ay göz, bir tane sen. Güzeller güzeli reyhan, reyhan. Sırtımın ezeli reyhan, reyhan. Alem sana heyran, heyran, heyran. Alem sana heyran, heyran, heyran. Ne geçen sen, ay göz, gül çiçeğin sen, ay göz. Bir tane sen, ay göz, bir tane sen.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to get started. We ask you that you please come inside. Please, everyone in the hallway, please make your way inside. We're about to get started. بفرمایید.
Good evening, everyone. Shh. Good evening. Let me see if I say this right. Nowruz Mebarak. Did I say that right? As many of you know, this afternoon we received the very, very sad news of the passing of our dear friend Yosi Dresner. Yosi, who was for many, many years our teacher, the leader of our minyan, our Torah reader, the ritual director of the synagogue, and a great, great spirit and great soul, left us. The last month has been very difficult for him. He's had terrible heart problems, and we tried very hard to help, but the heart problems were so difficult. He passed very peacefully this afternoon. We don't know yet when the funeral is going to be. Sometime, of course, this week, and everyone in the community will be invited. But Yossi's spirit was so powerful that this building is filled with it, and all of us who knew him and loved him were filled with it. So characteristically, Cantor Rafi, who is always so very sensitive, called me this afternoon and asked, should we cancel the celebration? And I said to her, no, you can't. First of all, because that's the last thing Yosi would want. Yosi would always want to have a celebration. And second of all, because in our Jewish faith, there is a very strong tradition that life always overcomes death. In the Talmud, the question is, if there's a procession coming for a funeral and a procession coming for a wedding, and they meet at the same corner, at the crossroads, who goes first? And the answer is the wedding goes first. Because life always takes precedence over death. Because the beginning of something always takes precedence over the end. Because the future has to take precedence over the past. And tonight we all need a celebration. And what more beautiful celebration than Nowruz, with all of its poetry and its music and its color. And we will remember Yosi, but we'll remember him in the way that he would most want to be remembered, through life and not through death. So thank you for coming. Thank you for celebrating with us. Nowruz is the beginning of the vernal equinox, which means the day and the night are now equal, and light is filling the world, and darkness is going away, and let's hope that our hearts are filled with light and sweetness and song. Nowruz Mevorach.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Feinstein, as always, for your beautiful words and wisdom. We're going to begin, actually, with a song that I dedicate to Yosi Dresner of beloved blessed memory. We're going to begin with a Nowruz song called Emsalo Tazekon that my mom found and sent to me. I don't know who the composer is. If anybody knows, let me know. But it is a beautiful song. Cheshma tova bokon tazeh has zendegi. Hafsina zendegi yani haleno. And I want to dedicate this to Yosi, who taught us all to open our eyes, taught us all to enjoy life. That's what he would always say to me, enjoy life. And Yosi, we love you and we miss you. This is for you. And I will welcome our musicians after the song. Cheshma tova bokon dare bahar miyad royato taze kon har jur delet mikhad cheshma tova bokon taze hast zendegi misle sabze vo baziye امسالو تازه کن با فکرای قشنگ با عشق و خوبی و با دشمنی بجنگ هفت سینه زندگی یعنی حال نوی فال حافظ و لبخند سال نو چشماتو وا بکن داره بهار میاد رویاتو تازه کن هر جور دلت میخواد امسالو تازه کن با فکرای قشنگ با عشق و خوبیا با دشمنی بجنگ هفت سینه زندگی یعنی حال نوی فال حافظ و لبخند سال نو. Thank you so much. I want to introduce our beautiful, wonderful musicians this evening. We have Daniel Reichman, our Associate Music Director, on guitar. We have Jamie Papish, a friend of our community, on percussion, including the DAF, which he'll talk about. And a very special guest this evening. You met him at our Persian Shabbat back in November. Tar player, virtuoso extraordinaire, Matin Eshari, who's joining us this evening. Thank you so much. For those of you I haven't met, I'm Cantor Jackie Raffi, and I've had the privilege of serving this congregation since 2022. While I'm the first woman cantor at Valley Beth Shalom, I'm actually the second Persian cantor, believe it or not. Cantor Farid Dardashti stood on this very bima in the 1970s for a few years. Tonight's celebration is especially meaningful to me. I'm a first-generation American, and my parents, who are here this evening, immigrated from Iran in 1981 after the revolution. I grew up immersed in a beautiful blend of Jewish, American, and Persian cultures. Farsi was my first language, and my parents instilled in me a deep love of Persian history and culture. My Jewish journey was nurtured in an Ashkenazic Reform synagogue, where I discovered my passion for Jewish music, and which ultimately led me to become a cantor. And today I'm married to an Ashkenazi Jew, and our growing family is a reflection of the diversity and beautiful blended cultures that we celebrate here at Valley Beth Shalom. Nowruz, the Persian New Year, marks the arrival of spring and has been observed for thousands of years. This year, Nowruz falls on March 20th at 2:05 a.m., aligning with the vernal equinox, as Rabbi said, a perfect symbol of balance and renewal. A central tradition is the Haftzin table, which everybody saw outside, which was so beautifully put together by Chantel Azakman and Jessica Shack, who are also, Chantel is also here this evening, so we thank you so much for putting this together. And there are a Haftzin. Haft means seven, and Sin is the Persian letter for S, also Hebrew letter for S, Sin. It symbolizes the 7 days of creation, and there are at least 7 things on that table that begin with the letter Sin, and they each represent everything from health to fertility to renewal to rebirth, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. And they represent, as I said, the blessings of health, love, and prosperity. Persian Jewish families often add a Tanakh or a Chumash, which also represents spirituality, and that reflects our Jewish tradition and heritage, and that reflects that this is a celebration that's shared among many faiths and cultures. The Persian Jewish community is one of the oldest, with a presence in Persia dating back over 3,000 years. Under Cyrus the Great, many Jews settled in the Persian Empire, where they experienced periods of prosperity alternating with periods of persecution throughout history. In modern times, under the Pahlavi dynasty, Persian Jews gained freedoms and flourished until the 1979 Islamic Revolution, when tens of thousands fled, many settling right here in Los Angeles, which is now home to the largest Persian Jewish community outside of Israel. Even in new lands, Persian Jews have preserved their rich culture, music, poetry, and traditions, which we celebrate tonight. And at the same time, we acknowledge the present. In Iran today, a movement led by courageous women and young people, Zan Zendegi Azadi, woman, life, freedom, is fighting for basic freedoms, dignity, and justice. So as we welcome Nowruz, let us celebrate not just the arrival of spring, but also the resilience of the Persian Jewish community, the bonds of our shared Jewish story and Jewish family, and the hope for renewal, freedom, and peace. Nowruz Sameach, Sal No Mubarak, Happy Nowruz to all. And it's now my pleasure to turn it over to Matin and Jamie, who will share some beautiful Persian music with us.
Hello everyone, Happy Nowruz. We're gonna play 2 songs. The first one is an instrumental piece based on Kurdish melody that we're gonna improvise with Jamie. And the second one is old Persian classical song, which is about the love. And this instrument is called tar. It's very ancient Iranian instrument that has a unique sound because of the skin and the other stuff. So, happy Nowruz and Sal Nov Mubarak.
No, I just can't. Oh, okay. I'm going to talk about the DAF. All right. So this instrument that I'm playing is called a DAF, D-A-F. And it's an ancient Kurdish instrument that was originally created to accompany the devotional ceremonies that they had. And what's unique about this is that it's got the rings on the inside. So you're playing the drum with your fingers, but then you're also moving up and down to activate the rings. So it can be played very soft and also very loud. And it was really used to induce trance. It was used to induce the trance of the dervishes. And it's now become a very popular instrument in Iran, as well as in Kurdish, with the Kurdish people. And sometimes you go on, if you go on YouTube or something, you'll see like 100 DAF players playing a song together. And it's really powerful. So this instrument has become a very, very globally wonderful instrument.
از نوک مژگان میزنی دیرم چند، از نوک مژگان میزنی دیرم چند. المنت لله که در میکده باز است، المنت لله که در میکده باز است، زان رو که مرا بر در او روی نیاز است، حقیقت نه مجاز است، در میکده باز است که این قصه دراز است. المنت لله که در میکده باز است، المنت لله که در میکده باز است، زان رو که مرا بر در او روی نیاز است، حقیقت نه مجاز است، در میکده باز است که این قصه دراز است. رخساره محمود و کف پای ایاز است، حقیقت نه مجاز است، در میکده باز است که این قصه دراز است. رازی که بر غیر نگفتیم و نگوییم، رازی که بر غیر نگفتیم و نگوییم، با دوست بگوییم که او محرم راز است، با دوست بگوییم که او محرم راز است، با دوست بگوییم که او محرم راز است.
As we say in Hebrew, Kol HaKavod, all the respect, that was beautiful. What you just heard was a classic Persian love song. It's now my pleasure to invite up Violetta Suni, who is a beloved member of our community. She and her husband Saeed have been members of VBS for more than 25 years, and Violette often shares that this is her family. They've celebrated life cycle events here. Both of their daughters are here this evening. One of their daughters got married here, another had her bat mitzvah here. Violette received her degree in English literature with distinction from Tehran University, and she moved to the US in 1979. She's an integral part of our community. She helped so much with tonight's event, setting up, securing a donation of sweets for us. So we're so grateful to you and looking forward to hearing from her.
If I may, I start with Farsi. First of all, I should say we are all, as the VBS family, heartbroken. It was a sad situation, but we hope that Nowruz brings peace to the families and renewal to everyone. سروران گرامی، شب شما بخیر و پیشاپیش نوروزتان مبارک. مفتخرم که از طرف کمیته برگزاری جشن نوروز به همت و هدایت کنتور محبوبمان ژاکلین رفیعی به همه مهمانان محترم خیر مقدم بگویم. من و خانواده‌ام بیش از 35 سال است که به عضویت ولی بیت شالوم در آمدیم و اون رو خانه دوم خودمون میدونیم. این احساس تعلق به خصوص برای ما مهاجران اهمیت والایی دارد. ما ایرانیان از فرهنگ غنی، موسیقی، ادبیات، و سنن بسیار زیبا و ارزنده‌ای برخورداریم. به مناسبت سال نو 1404 شمسی، شعر زیبایی به نام نوروزانه را از دوست عزیزمان استاد جهانگیر صداقتفر انتخاب کردم. ایشان که مقیم شمال کالیفرنیا هستند و نسبت به ایران، اسرائیل و آمریکا تعلق خاطر بسیار دارند، این شعر را در بهار 2006 سرودند و به خواهش من ترجمه انگلیسی شعر زیبایشان را هم مرحمت فرمودند. نوروز نوید نوبهار آورده است. عیدی خنک‌های کوهسار آورده است. دلسوختگان فصل بیباران را امسال دلی امیدوار آورده است. از کوچه شمیم آشنا می آید. این عطر بنفشه از کجا می آید؟ گلبانگ بهار است مگر که از البرز تا غربت غرب سوی ما می آید. نوروز و بهار توامان می آیند. عید و گل و سبزه همزمان می آیند. فصل نو و آیین کهن هر ساله تا دورترین باغ جهان می آیند. نوروز عزیز، مقدمت گلباران، امسال نوید ابرهایت باران، فصلی 2-3 پاییزی غربت دیدیم، اینک نفس بهاری، آنک ایران. نوروز خوش آمدی، صفا آوردی، در شهر چه بوی آشنا آوردی، گل، سبزه، شکوفه، خاک باران خورده، این محشر کبراز کجا آوردی؟ نوروز بشارت بهاری داری، خوشرنگی نقش لاله‌زاری داری، 100 خاطره در عطر نسیم سحری، از عهد شباب یادگاری داری. نوروز هماره سرفرازت بینم، بر موج مراد در فرازت بینم. 63 بهار دیدم اما ای کاش 100 سال دیگر دوباره بازت بینم. 63 بهار اگرچه بر من رفته است، پیری به کمین اگرچه هم بنشسته است، در سینه 1000 قصه ناگفته است، در دل 2000 غنچه نشکفته است. Good evening and happy Nowruz 1404, although we still have 3 more days. It's a great honor and privilege for me to welcome all of our guests on behalf of the Nowruz Celebration Committee, initiated by our one and only Cantor Rafi. My family and I have been members of Vali Bet Shalom for over 35 years. It feels great to belong to VBS and call it our second home, especially as Iranian immigrants. Iranians are blessed with a rich culture and beautiful music, poetry, literature, and meaningful traditions. I have chosen a piece of poetry called Nowruzane from our dear friend, Mr. Jahangir Sadaqatfar, who loves Iran, Israel, and the United States and lives in Northern California. He wrote this poem in the spring of 2006. He has graciously translated this beautiful piece for us. Nowruz brings the news of the new springs, a gift, the cool breeze from the mountains it brings. For the heartbroken of the dry season, this year a hopeful heart it brings. From the alley, a familiar fragrance comes. Where does the scent of violets come from? It is the voice of spring, perhaps, that travels from Alborz to the distant west. It comes to us. Nowruz and spring arrive together. Eid, flowers, and greenery all at once. the new season and the ancient tradition, they arrive every year, even to the farthest garden in the world. Dear Nowruz, we shower your arrival with flowers. This year, the promise of your clouds brings rain. We saw a few autumns in exile. Now the breath of spring, here it is, Iran. Nowruz, welcome. You bring joy. What familiar scent you have brought to the city. Flowers, greenery, blossoms, the scent of rain-drenched earth. This great upheaval, where did you bring it from? Nowruz, you bring the tidings of joyful spring, the vivid colors of tulips you carry, 100 memories in the scent of the dawn breeze. From the days of youth, you hold your souvenirs. Nowruz, may I always see you triumphant. May I see you on the wave of desires soaring high. 63 springs I have seen, but I wish to see you again for another 100 years. 63 springs have passed me by, though old age lurks waiting for me. In my heart, 1,000 untold tales, and in my soul, 1,000 unopened buds. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Violet Juno. So beautiful. We'd like to now invite up our guest speaker, Tanaz Sassouni. Note that they have the same last name because it is actually Violet's daughter. Born in Tehran to a Jewish family, Tanaz has lived in Los Angeles since age 1. With a long career in visual effects and animation technology, she has designed and implemented artist workflows at major studios such as DreamWorks and Netflix Animation. Currently, she's working as a technical writer for Epic Games. Alongside her technology career, she's a food writer and researcher, specializing in collecting regional Iranian Jewish recipes. We're so happy to have you here with us, Tanaz.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, good evening. My name is Tanaz. You've heard my story many times now. I was born in Tehran, came to the United States when I was 16 months old. VBS has been my home synagogue since I was in 7th grade. I had my bat mitzvah here, and of course, Yosi was my gabbai at the bima in this room. And not only was my bat mitzvah officiated by the synagogue's first woman rabbi, I do believe my oneg was the first to incorporate Iranian Jewish foods, including the VBS kitchen's take on tochme mor shabbati, the slow-cooked eggs that we eat, what Iranian Jews eat on Shabbat mornings. As Cantor Rafi'i mentioned, in parallel to my professional career in animation technology, I've been researching Iranian Jewish food traditions for many years. I've been collecting recipes and stories from Jewish women from the different regions in Iran in hopes of publishing a cookbook. And while Nowruz isn't a specifically Jewish holiday, I find it fascinating how much overlap there is between the traditions of my 2 spring holidays, Nowruz and Passover. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that with y'all tonight. Before the holidays even start, we must clean our homes. For Jews, spring cleaning takes the form of cleaning the hametz from all the corners of our homes. For Iranians, it's called chune takuni. It literally translates to shaking the house, but it's a deep clean, a declutter, sorting everything out, setting yourself up for the new year that starts in spring. From there, we have to talk about the haftzin that Cantor Rafi'i mentioned and the Seder plate, 2 displays of symbolic foods that anchor these 2 holidays. A rabbi I know once said of Jews that we eat our history. Food as symbolism, as ritual, is so powerful, and both Jews and Persians know this well. But the contents of these symbolic spreads cross over too. We have to talk about eggs. The egg on the Seder plate, the betzah, depending on who you ask, can represent the destruction of the temple, but it's also a symbol of the new life that spring brings. Nowruz displays feature colored eggs very prominently, again, bringing us back to this idea of rebirth and renewal, and also connecting us to Easter, another spring holiday dealing with rebirth. Of course, driven by the season, bright greens and herbs play a role in these two holidays. Ashkenazi Jews dip parsley in salt water to commemorate the tears of the Israelite slaves. First of all, the Hebrew word karpas for parsley is related to the Persian word karafs, celery. Iranian Jews actually use celery leaves often for our karpas, and we don't use horseradish for our maror. We typically use a bitter lettuce. And anyone who's ever been to a Persian Seder knows that big, fresh scallions take a big role in our Passover celebration. We run around the table whipping each other with them as we sing Dayenu. On the Nowruz side, the traditional food for Nowruz is sabzi polo. It is a fragrant pilaf made with basmati rice and at least an equal amount to the rice of fresh herbs, 4 or 5 different kinds. And of course, prominent in the hafsin itself is sabzeh, a platter of sprouted lentils or wheat or barley that looks like the most lush patch of green grass. But going back to the karpas for a second, though, I'm sure most of you, some of you know that Iranians actually don't dip in salt water. We sip in vinegar. And vinegar, or sirke, is also one of the items on the hafsin. Here it symbolizes age, wisdom, and patience. And a fun fact I learned recently is that before the advent of Islam, it was actually a hafshin, not a haftzin, and one of those items was sharab, wine, which eventually adapted to vinegar. But I don't need to tell you about the importance of wine in Passover celebrations and any Jewish celebrations. Iranians have a tradition of Eid Didani. We stop by the homes, during the days surrounding Nowruz, we stop by the homes of our friends and family and invite people into our homes for sweets, tea, and good times and togetherness. Oftentimes, Passover and Nowruz overlap, and this can be problematic because, sweets are often, leavened, bread-based. But there are several traditional Persian sweets that use no leavening that you'll see at these celebrations. One is nunokhochi, which is a chickpea flour cookie. There's actually tut in our hafsin. They're little mulberries that are made out of almond flour. Nun berenji, which are rice flour cookies. And of course, badum sukhte, which is, it's not a cookie, but it's almonds that are covered in a dark kind of burnt caramel. They're very delicious. I'll also mention, in fact, today or yesterday in the New York Times, there was a Nowruz recipe for nun gerdui, which is walnut cookies, and it was touted as a flourless Nowruz recipe, but that's a Passover recipe as far as I'm concerned. Beyond these practical things, there are some slight more spiritual overlaps as well. Of course, Nowruz doesn't deal with the direct themes of oppression from slavery. There's no pharaoh narrative. But if you turn the conversation to personal freedom, there's a little something there. On the last Tuesday night before Nowruz, tomorrow night, Iranians gather outdoors. We light small or sometimes frighteningly large bonfires. And with a running start, we jump over the fires. As we do, we say to the fire, Zardi man az to, surkhi to az man, which translates basically to, may my yellow be yours, and may your red be mine. We're basically feeding the fire all of our pallor, fealty, cowardice, and leaping into the new year with all the heat and glowing life of the fire. We're leaping and freeing ourselves from the things that hold us back. One might even say we're confronting our inner pharaoh. As global geopolitics, a once-in-a-century, hopefully pandemic, terrifying fires shake me up over and over, the changing of the seasons brings me perspective. I am a gardener, so, humans are gonna human, but every year my tomatoes ripen in summer, my pomegranate tree roars back to life in fall and winter, And every spring, my orange tree and my daffodils blossom and bloom. We've been on this earth together, and when you look closely enough, you can see that there's so much more that connects us than divides us. Nowruz literally means new day, and we have a saying in Persian, may your Nowruz be victorious, and may every one of your days be a Nowruz. Nowruzatun piruz, har ruzatun Nowruz. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanaz. That was so beautiful, and personally, I learned so much. What a wonderful connection you made between the two holidays. Thank you for sharing your research with us and your expertise with us. It's now my pleasure to invite up two members of our youth choir, Eli and Layla Braun, who are going to join me in singing Mi Chamocha. This is a melody that a lot of us in the VBS family now know, since I brought it a few years ago. It's a melody that I wrote, and it's based on the liturgy of Mi Chamocha, which we sing both in the morning and in the evening. As Tanaz was just teaching us about the themes of Passover, it's about celebrating everyday miracles. It's what the Israelites sang upon achieving their freedom after crossing the parted sea, giving thanks to God for the great miracle of freedom. My mom, who's also here this evening and who I'm going to introduce next, she translated the main part of Mi Chamocha into Farsi. So I'll start with the Farsi of Mi Chamocha, then I'll go straight to the Hebrew, and Layla and Eli will join me on the Hebrew. And next year I'll teach you the Farsi and you'll join me on the Farsi. کیست مثل تو ای خدا در میان آسمان کیست مثل تو با شکوه در Mom, I forgot the words. شگفت در ستایش سازنده معجزه سازنده معجزه It's because I'm pregnant میخوام آخر و الی مدارم میخوام آخر ندار با کادش دارد ایو آسفله آسفله میخوام آخر و الی مدارم میخوام آخر ندار با کادش دارد ایو آسفله آسفله ملکوتך روانך ملکوتך روانך بوکی היום לפני משה ומרים מי כמוך באלים אדונה מי כמוך נדר בקודש לא רצינו אוסף אלה אוסף אלה זה לי ענו אדוני עמך לעולם ועד לעולם کیست مثل تو ای خدا در میان آسمان کیست مثل تو با شکوه در تقدس شگفت در ستایش سازنده معجزه سازنده معجزه می کمוך באלים אדונה מי כמוך נדר בקודש לא רצינו אוסף אלה אוסף אלה Layla and Eli Braun. Thank you. Beautiful. It's now my pleasure to invite up my mom, Dr. Nahid Rafi, who wrote those Persian lyrics that I forgot and then remembered at the end. She has her Bachelor's of Science in Physical Therapy and a PhD in Human Behavior. She founded the first Farsi-speaking Alzheimer's support group, and she's currently conducting monthly well-being, health, memory, and Alzheimer's classes at Sephardic Temple. Dr. Rafi is the chair of the Healthy Living Circle Committee at the Iranian American Jewish Federation, and she's a member of the EF Committee. She's also board member of B'nai B'rith Fred Matlub Foundation. She also is a beautiful poet, and she composed a poem just for this event, just for this evening, and she's debuting it right now. So I'd like to invite up my mom, Nahid Rafi.
Please, next time, raise the podium for sure. Okay. Good evening. عید همگی بود مبارک. نوروزتون پیروز. وقتی که سارجنت ژاکلین رفی تلفن میکنه و میگه مام write a poem for next week, then you have to do it. I'm going to recite it in Farsi first and then the translation in English. ندا آمد، بهار آمد، دگر بار صفا آمد، نوای دلنواز آمد، زمین سبز و سبکبال شد، بهار آمد، شکوفایی به باغ آمد، جهان نو شد، به خود بنگر، تو هم برخیز، بهاران شو، بهاران شو، در باغ امید بگشا، رها کن کینه و غم را، بزن بوسه به سختی ها، محبت را پذیرا شو، برون افکن غبار تلخی و کین، پناهی ده به تنها و به مسکین. بهار آمد، شگفتی ها عیان شد، دل عاشق دوباره نوجوان شد و من بار دیگر مبهوت میپرسم چطور آمد چنین خلقت و اعجاز؟ چه هست سرچشمه این جاودان راز؟ ندا آمد، بهار آمد. And now in English. Thank you. A call was heard, spring is here. Soft songs drift upon the air. The music of love, light and clear. The earth is lively, green and bare. Spring has come with blossoms fair. Look within, rise and see. Let spring awaken inside thee. Open wide the gates of hope. Let go of sorrow. Learn to cope. Kiss the trials. Face the rain. Let love and warmth ease the pain. Wipe away the dust of despair and spite. Give shelter to the lonely tonight. Spring has come. Its wonders shine. The lover's heart feels young in time. And I once again ask, what breath of grace shape all this? What secret holds eternal bliss? Spring has come. Spring has come.
Thank you, Mom, for listening to the sergeant's command. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. It's so beautiful. We continue with some music from our amazing musical guests.
از نوک مژگان میزنی از نوک مژگان میزنی آخ تیرم چند تیرم چند تیرم چند از نوک مژگان میزنی از نوک مژگان میزنی آخ تیرم چند تیرم چند تیرم چند دل را همان یک غمزه از جا افکن جا افکن جا افکن چرا میزنی 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 یا چرا میکشی 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 تو دل را تو با ناوک مژگان تو با ناوک مژگان همه پیر و جوان را همه عالم جان را جانم همه عالم جان را تو با ناوک مژگان تو با ناوک مژگان همه پیر و جوان را همه عالم جان را جانم همه عالم جان را از نوک مژگان میزنی از نوک مژگان میزنی آخ تیرم چند تیرم چند تیرم چند دل را همان یک غمزه از جا افکن جا افکن جا افکن از نوک مژگان میزنی از نوک مژگان میزنی آخ تیرم چند تیرم چند تیرم چند دل را همان یک غمزه از جا افکن جا افکن جا افکن چرا میزنی 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 یا چرا میکشی 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 تو دلدار تو با ناوک مژگان تو با ناوک مژگان همه پیر و جوان را همه عالم جان را جانم همه عالم جان را تو با ناوک مژگان تو با ناوک مژگان همه پیر و جوان را همه عالم جان را جانم همه عالم جان را
Thank you so much to this incredible duo who's joined us. Please put your hands together one more time for Jamie Papish on daf and percussion and Matina Shahi on tar and daf. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really beautiful. It's now my pleasure and honor to invite up Rabbi Feinstein, our esteemed Rabbi Feinstein, who's going to share some remarks with us.
I want to know how you could sit there and not get up and dance. That's what I want. What's wrong with you people? Come on. That was marvelous. Don't go away. I want to hear some more. Don't go away. Jamie, don't go away. Just stay. I'll talk short. You'll do another piece. Seriously, I want to just quickly. One thing I want to say to you all. Really. I've been here now 32 years. When I first started, I had a little bar mitzvah boy come to see me. It's a little fella having his bar mitzvah. And I asked him, "What's your name?" And he said, "My name's Bobby." And I looked at him and I said, "Your name's not Bobby." And he said, No, my name's Bobby." I said, "Close the door. Tell me your name." He says, "My name's Bobby." I said, "Your name's not Bobby." And he looked at me and he looked down. And he looked at me and he said, "Babak." And I say, "Babak." Then I looked at him and said, "Babak June, why would you tell me your name is Bobby?" But I know why he said that to me. He said that to me for the same reason that my name is Edward. My mother was the child of immigrants and never felt at home in America. My mother spoke fluent Yiddish, but wouldn't speak it to me. The Yiddish I know is because my grandmother used to yell at me in Yiddish, so that I know. My mother was afraid that my brothers and I would not become fully American, that we would never be accepted here. So there's 4 of us. I'm Edward, my brother's Lawrence, my other brother's Stephen, and by the 4th one she gave in, his name is Jeremy. She never spoke to us in Yiddish. Very traditional Jewish family, but no Yiddish. Because America, while we may welcome immigrants, at least legally, America's very impatient with cultures that are not American. Very impatient with people who speak different languages, who have different cultures, who dress different, who act different, who eat different. And that impatience is expressed in very subtle ways. Child goes to school, and he's told, "Your name's not Babak, your name is Bobby. Your name is not Farzaneh, your name is Jennifer. Your name is not Hamid, your name is Harold." No, very seriously. And the kid internalizes this idea that something's wrong with me. That the part of me which connects me with my grandparents, with my parents, with the culture they brought from Persia, is wrong and has to be suppressed. And the child grows up with a split between inside and outside. Inside is Babak and has Tajik on Friday night with his family and speaks Farsi to his grandparents. But outside, he's Bobby and speaks English and loves baseball. And the two can't meet each other. And he learns that there's something wrong with that piece of himself, and he tries to suppress it with all of his might. I said to Babak, "Your grandparents speak English?" He says, "Not very much." I said, "Good. When you write your speech for your bar mitzvah, you're to write a paragraph in Persian. If you can't do it, then ask your parents. They'll help you. I want you to say to them how much you love and respect them in their language." He said, "I can't do that." I said, "You can do that." Because I want him to hold on to that part of himself, which is so precious. And I'm saying this to you because I love you and you know that. And I know what happened to us. And I know how much of our culture was lost because America wouldn't let us be whole. My kids have Hebrew names because I wouldn't play that game with them. So it's Yonah and Nessa and Raphael. And my grandchildren will have Hebrew names because we learned that lesson. I hope we didn't learn it too late. I said to Babak, "You know who you are? You're royalty. You come from royalty. You are the descendants of Queen Esther. Why are you ashamed of this? Why can't you be proud of it?" "Oh, Rabbi, it's not cool in I don't care what's cool. You have such an important role to play in the world, and you've been given the most precious gift. You're going to grow up to be fully American, I promise you. Your children are going to grow up to be fully American because they're all being taught by Professor TikTok. They're going to speak English perfectly. They're going to get along in this culture just fine. But please, please, don't let them lose the part of themselves which is Persian. Don't let them lose the custom of gathering on Friday night with the family and sitting with all the cousins together. Don't let them lose the customs of prayer and tradition. Don't let them lose Nowruz. Don't let them lose the language. Speak to them in Farsi, and if they say, I don't understand, tell them, shut up and just listen. Push back. Don't let them lose this precious part of themselves. Because what you have, what you brought with you from Shiraz and Tehran and all those villages that you came from, what you brought with you here is the piece of us that is missing from America. The piece of identity, the piece of inner security, of tradition, of narrative, of history, of custom, of color. These things are so precious, and they fill in a terrible gap in the soul of American culture. American kids don't know from Friday night. They go to football games and parties on Friday night. And you know what happens then? They don't see their parents. They don't sit at a table and tell stories. They don't know who their cousins are. You know what the best part of it is? Can I confess to you? I'm asked many, many times to do a wedding, to lead a wedding ceremony. I have to confess something to you. When Ashkenazim have weddings, we learn from the Protestants that you come in very quietly, like somebody died. You know how Persians do it? It takes 45 minutes, and every cousin in the most flimsy dress I've ever seen a woman wear, and the boys never wear socks. I don't know where that came. Come dancing in. Because Ashkenazim, we learned from the Ashkenazim, we assimilated into Protestant culture and we made weddings into funerals. But Persian families still remember how a miracle it is that a couple found each other. What a miracle it is that they love each other. What a miracle it is that they want to start a life together. What a miracle it is, and they just can't control it. So no matter how many beautiful words I come up with for a wedding, in the middle of it, the grandmother standing behind me is going to go, "Loo, loo, 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 loo." And then she'll look at me and she'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I said, no, don't be sorry. I would have done that too if I could. I'm an Ashkenaz, I can't do that. There is a joy of life. There is a music of life. There is a poetry of life that you brought with you from Persia. And you have so generously shared it with us. And I'm begging you, don't lose that. Don't let America steal it from you. That's it. That's it. I love that. I just love it. Don't let that spirit ever wane. Don't let it be taken away. Don't let Babak think that he's Bobby. Let him stand proud and strong as Babak. Let her stand proud and strong as Farzaneh. Let them stand proud and strong as Jews and as Persians and as Americans and as part of this beautiful, beautiful culture. Tanaz, do you know why the two cultures are so close? Quick history lesson. Because in the 10th century, when militant Shiite Islam took over Persia, they made it illegal to have secular Persian culture. Muslims were not permitted to create music. They were not created to have feasts. They were not created to have wine. but because Jews were Jews and the Shiites respected the Jewish community protected Persian culture. The Jewish community protected Nowruz from the Shiites. And when the Shiites were overcome, the Shiites stayed, but there was a less crazy Shiite. There once upon a time was less crazy Shiites. The Jews gave the Persians back their culture. And that's why the two cultures are so close together. Because the Jews were never a small, insignificant minority. They were never a silent minority within Persia. The Jews were always a very integral part of Persian culture. In other words, Jews preserved Persian cultures for Persians. And now I'm asking you to preserve it for all of us. Because it is such a gift, such a blessing, such a contribution to the texture of our lives. And listen, I'm an Ashkenaz. I'm a Litvak. I mean, I'm the worst of the Ashkenaz. I eat gefilte fish on Friday night. You know, it is such a gift, yes, to bring me Tante, please. Somebody bring me something to eat. The color, the music, the poetry, the narratives, the story, the spirit, the love, the joy. Please, God, don't let it go.
We're not done yet, everybody. We're not done yet. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much, Rabbi Feinstein, for your words of support and love. It means so much. We're almost done with our program. We have just a few minutes, a few more very important things to share. I want to invite up Jeffrey Wax. Jeffrey Wax, are you here? Who has a community leader, a lay leader, longtime BBS congregant, who has a very important announcement to share with all of us. Please listen closely.
It is impossible to follow everything that has happened tonight. Like, it's the worst gig in all of Los Angeles tonight. So, first of all, thank you, Ken Arafi, for inviting me. And more importantly, thank you to everyone here, to all of you, for making me feel welcome at this beautiful celebration. I'm humbled to be here on this bima with musicians and poets and Ken Arafi and Rabbi Feinstein, who just spoke so passionately, made me tear up. This is my first time being at a Nowruz celebration, and it's a night of a very difficult day, one that was filled with the loss of a very dear member of our community, as Yosi was. And I have to say that for me, the music and poetry and sweets have been a very welcome balm to a soul that's been very saddened by his passing. I am here, as Ken Arafi mentioned, to encourage all of you to participate in the election of the World Zionist Congress and vote for Merkaz, the global movement of conservative Judaism. This election only happens once every 5 years, and it's our opportunity as Jews living in the diaspora to have our voices heard in Israel. And our voice carries with it the power to set the spending priorities of $5 billion over the next 5 years. Merkaz is the conservative movement, but first and foremost, it stands for protecting Israel as a democratic homeland for all Jews, and being here with you tonight is a living example of the joy that comes from being welcomed. We should all be welcome in Eretz Yisrael. Merkaz is also dedicated to assisting the hostages' families, combating anti-Semitism, and supporting the conservative movement, which includes supporting our beloved Valley Beth Shalom, the congregation that I'm so grateful to for giving my family a home and a vibrant and diverse Jewish community, for giving us all the gift of Yosi, and tonight for introducing me to this beautiful, beautiful holiday. So I have handouts that I can press into your palms as you leave tonight. There's a table set up with them. All it will take is about 5 minutes of your time and a $5 administrative fee. It's not up to me. And I hope you will consider voting for Merkaz. It's slate number 17 on the ballot. And please feel free to ask me any questions. And thank you for your time. And Nowruz etan Piruz.
Thank you, everyone. Please find Jeffrey after the program, and he'll show you it's very easy and very important for us to do as conservative Jews supporting Israel. So we're going to conclude this evening. First, I'd like to briefly say thank you to all those who made it possible. We want to thank Everfresh Marketplace and Sabzi Market for their generous donations of many of the sweets that you saw outside, and especially to Violet Sassouni and Farzana Farnoush, who arranged all those donations and made it possible. So thank you to those markets. Thank you so much to Fariba and David Akaxadeh for generously purchasing the fruits and dates that we enjoyed this evening. Thank you again to our incredible musicians, Mateen Eshahi, Jamie Papish, Daniel Reichman. Thank you. In just a minute, I'm going to invite up some more musicians who will, in fact, maybe you can make your way up as I'm speaking. Yes, just make your way up because we have some setup to do. Yes, we have some setup to do. I'd like to welcome Mr. Ebrahim Niknam on flute, Mr. Hushain Hushmand on dombak, and I want to thank Mr. Abraham Davidoff, who helped organize these musicians that you're about to hear and who accompanied Farzana June last year. And Farzana June will be singing in just a moment with her beautiful voice. I want to thank again Tanaz Sassouni for really your meaningful words. Violet Sassouni, my mom, Dr. Nahid Rafi, Rabbi Feinstein, of course, for your inspiring words. And I want to thank the Persian Culture Committee, the Nowruz Committee, Violet Sassouni, Farzana Farnoush, Fariba Hakaxadeh, Dina Faramarzi, Shahira Badran, and Jessica Budai for helping to organize and set up everything at this event. Thank you again to Chantel and Jessica for the beautiful half-scene table. Thank you to Aiden Bostic for all the AV, the sound, and the beautiful visuals. Thank you to Arit Rappaport for being our staff representative and helping us out this evening. Thank you to Jeffrey for reminding us to vote Merkaz. Please make sure you do so. And also a final thank you to my parents for instilling this, keeping the flame alive in my heart, and for all your support. We're going to conclude this evening with a beautiful song that is brought to us from Farzana Farnoush and her team of musicians. And Farzana, you know, I realized that I had a bio for everybody and I didn't have a bio for you. So how long have you been a member of Valley Beth Shalom?
35 years.
35 years. She has a beautiful voice. She has many talents. She was part of the choir for many years. And your background, you told me.
I came, like most of the people, I came June 1979. And I just came here, and then I moved to San Francisco for 10 years. Then we came back. I sent both my daughter to here. And because it's Nowruz, honestly, I don't want to talk about Yosi, but I owe Yosi a lot because he taught me Hebrew, and always because we had a bat mitzvah, adult bar mitzvah. He asked me three times, because so you learn it, you have to teach them, you have to do with me. And I was very upset. God bless his soul.
God bless his soul. Thank you, Farzana June. You brought a beautiful song to us this evening, and she asked me to read a little bit of the English translation. Come, 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 my beloved, for I would sacrifice myself for you. This world lasts only 2 days. Come, turn night into day, for I am the sun, I am the morning of Nowruz. Did you see how, like water, a whole year passed by? the new year has arrived. A year passed so quickly it feels like just yesterday. Oh, come, for it is Nowruz. This world lasts only 2 days, until my soul, my heart, and my eyes burn with longing for you. See how your stature is like a bow, while my back is bent with age. Come, the sun has set behind the mountains. Little by little, night has fallen. Come, for once again, the moon rises from behind the hills. Suddenly, the whole sky is filled with moonlight. Oh, my dear, don't be like this. Don't be so distant, for you see how the world changes from year to year. Old becomes new. Come, for it is Nowruz. The world lasts only 2 days, until my soul, my heart, and my eyes burn with longing for you. See how your stature is like a bow, while my back is bent with age.
Yes, thank you. Okay. بیا 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 دل برکم و قربون تو شم دنیا دو روزه بیا مکن شو روز ما خورشید ما سال نوروزه یک سال چرا دوندی برم سال نو اومد یک سال چرا دوندی برم دل روزه روزه دنیا دو روزه تا آدمی جون دلم چشم خوار سوزه بینین که قد تو کمون پشت آغوزه بیا 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 آفتاب فرو شد پشت کو کم کم و شو شد بیا که با سر زده کو ما همچنون یهو مهدو شد برچی چنو این چنو مبو دل برک ما اینجور که میبینی زمونه سال به سال کهنه و نو شد آی روزه دنیا روزه تا آدمی جون دلم چشم خوبر سوزه بینه که قد تو کمون و پشت ما قوزه بیا 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 دل برکم و قربون تو شم دنیا دو روزه بیا مکن شو روز ما خورشید ما صبح نوروزه دیدی چطور ماننده سالی برفت سال نو اومد یک سال چنو تندی برم که پندری همه دیروزه آی بیا که نوروزه دنیا دو روزه تا آدمی جون دلم چشم خمر سوزه بینی که قد تو جمور پشت ما قوزه لای لای بیا 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 دل برکم و قربون تو شم دنیا دو روزه روزه بیا مکن شو روز ما خورشید ما صبح نوروزه دیدی چطور ماننده سالی برفت سال نو اومد یک سال چنو تندی برفت که پندری همه دیروزه
آی بیا که نوروزه دنیا دو روزه
تا آدمی جون دلم چشم خوبر سوزه بینه که قد تو که او رو پشت ما سوزه بیا 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 با هم بریم بند دره یا چار بالا مگو سبا دیر سبا ورخه بیا تا برم حالا در آن در دور از همه بی همه خرم و خندانه دور از شر و شور و شر با شرشره بکنم لالا های بیا که نوروزه دنیا نوروزه تا آدمی جون دلم چشم خوبر سوزه بینه که قد تو کمونو پشت ما موزه.
Thank you so much for that beautiful song to conclude the evening. Thank you all for coming. Nowruz Piruz, Nowruz Sameach, Am Yisrael Chai, and have a wonderful week. And God bless Yosi Dresner.
أيوة أنا مسيطرة يا حتة سكرة طول ما أنت معايا تمشي على هوايا أنا متكبرة في حاجات حذرتك منها